It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 13th day of September 2022, coming to you live from St Maarten. Of course, I'm on the Symphony of the Seas, but I will be going ashore right after the show. I passed up a dune buggy excursion with my friends today to do the show, unfortunately. So I could be out riding the dune buggy all around the island. But so be it. We do have several news stories this morning. Of course, the main story is Virgin Voyages has dropped their vaccine mandates. We've got a bunch of Carnival cruise news. Princess has got a new partnership. Disney donates school supplies in the Bahamas, and a whole lot more here live at 11 o'clock, live from St. Maarten on the Symphony of the Seas. Today, folks, is National Peanut Day. Well, I kind of like that. I like peanuts. I enjoy that. I like all kinds of peanuts. Shelled, dry roasted, doesn't matter. If they're peanuts, I'm cool with it. So anyway, go get some peanuts today, folks, and enjoy them. All right. If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from, like iHeartRadio and TuneIn and Podchaser and Pandora and all those guys, the big hitters in the industry, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. If you are interested anytime you're listening to the podcast and hopping over for the video feed, there's always a link in the description of the podcast so you can go check out any pictures or clips we might use on that day's show. And you can always go back to your podcast. So interesting, last night on Symphony of the Seas, we were actually booked in two shows, the ice show and the aqua show. Both of them canceled out because we were in kind of some rough seas. So they rescheduled them for later in the week. So they're not really canceled. I guess they were postponed. So, well, I had to put those off. So I ended up in Sue and Barry's room playing Uno last night. That's something I haven't done since I was a kid. We sat, it might have been an adult beverage in my hand, but we sat and played Uno. So, all right, I will be back with some news this morning right after a word from one of our network sponsors. What are you doing? All right, the top story today has to deal with our friends over at Virgin Voyages. Following examples set by a majority of cruise lines in the past few weeks, Virgin Voyages has made various updates to its health and safety protocols. The cruise line will no longer require guests to be fully vaccinated, with only unvaccinated guests needing to provide a negative test result. Virgin Voyages became the first cruise line to remove pre-cruise testing in July, but seemed to have waited to see how other cruise lines fared with removing the mandatory vaccination status. Starting September 18th on Valiant Lady and September 21st on Scarlet Lady, guests will no longer be required to provide proof of vaccination to board either vessel. Virgin Voyages was also the first cruise line operating from the United States to remove the pre-cruise test, but is bringing this test back for unvaccinated cruisers. If guests have not been fully vaccinated, they must bring a negative COVID test taken within 72 hours before sailing. If they cannot get tested in time, guests can also test at the terminal for $30 on the day of embarkation. Guests are still asked to test before sailing at all times, whether vaccinated or not, just to be safe, folks. Virgin Voyages will allow guests to change their voyage date if the guest does test positive or was exposed within 10 days of departure. Guests can also opt for a full future voyage credit to use toward a booking later. If guests test positive at the terminal, the same applies. Guests can rebook or get a future voyage credit. Guests that test positive while on board will get a prorated amount based on the number of days they missed. All right, now, we do have a couple stories from Carnival, and one seems to have disappeared on me. That's not anything grossly unusual. All right. Carnival's newest addition, the Carnival Luminosa, has entered dry dock, and progress is reported as going very well. The vessel was handed over to Carnival from Costa last week. Since the cruise ship entered dry dock, the hull has been stripped, ready for her new paint job, and her new name is already visible. For the first time since restarting cruise operations back in July of 2021, Carnival Cruise Line is bringing back its whimsical green eggs and ham breakfast. How about that? So the kids get the green eggs and ham breakfast back, featuring the Cat in the Hat and Friends. The once per cruise offering will again be available fleet-wide starting October 1st. Now, also from Carnival, my reporter on the spot on the Carnival Horizon reported that they came upon some Cubans in a raft yesterday on their way to Grand Cayman. They seem to be in distress. Carnival got up close to the raft. They explained to the people that they would be, if they come aboard, they would be turned over to the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard would take them right back to Cuba. With that, the folks on the raft says, no, thank you. They were given some food and water, and the guests paddled away. Who knows what's going to happen to them? All right, our friends over at Princess Cruises, not to be confused with Carnival, even though Carnival happens to own them, but Princess Cruises just entered into a 5-year licensing agreement with Exponential Fitness. Was announced by Princess Cruises, kicking off the incorporation of the fitness brand's outstanding boutique exercise experiences at sea. Exponential Fitness will partner with One Spa World, the line's exclusive provider of health, wellness, and fitness at sea, and the fitness brand's extensive offerings will be managed by One Spa World's fitness professionals and staff and onboard fitness and spa facilities. This partnership will make Princess Cruises the first major cruise line to offer multiple curated fitness brands to create customizable guest fitness experiences at sea, and will be available on board all Princess 15 ships. Now, I have no idea what that just said. I'm still not sure what they're doing with these folks. But anyway, it's happening with Princess. I got that much out of it. But that's about it. All right. Disney. This is a pretty cool story. Disney's donated school supplies to students in the Bahamas as part of its Wishes Set Sail campaign in support of come on, tongue, youth initiative in any key port communities, according to a press release. Disney Cruise Line handed out 1,320 backpacks filled with school supplies to benefit students from Abaco and Eleuthera, according to the company. The company collaborated with the South Abaco District Local Government Authority to distribute the backpacks to students in South Abaco, including the communities of Sandy Point and Crossing Rock. In the meantime, Lighthouse Point volunteers handed out backpacks at the starting line's first back-to-school family fun day in Eleuthera. So good for Disney. Of course, we had this 2 days in a row, we've had Disney stories. Yesterday, we got to talk about Disney going to Australia and New Zealand in 2023, which is also pretty good news. So good for Disney. All right, let's jump over in the chat room. There wasn't a tremendous amount of news today, quite frankly, but, some. So, all right, let's see who's here. Mike's with us. Mike, Nikki's here. Kenna's with us up in Pennsylvania. Nikki's with us down in Jacksonville. Cindy's with us. Hot Air says, Chillie's Cruises surprise. I am here. Boss was delayed from sweet. Hot Air Tom is supposed to be in a management meeting this morning. I thought he was going to skip the show, and I fussed at him that I'd passed up this excursion in St. Maarten to sit here and do this show, and he damn well better be watching it. No, I didn't really say that. Thought that. What would we do without Hot Air Tom? Cindy says, get ready for Uno in November, Chillie. Our cruise buddies love that game. I tell you what, it's been something. They had to go over the rules for me again. It's been so long since I played, but it was a fun evening. I enjoyed it. Virginia Diner has peanuts on sale today, 20% off for National Peanut Day. Very good. By the way, folks, I don't know if any of you saw it on my Facebook post, but for Chocolate Milkshake Day yesterday, I did go to Johnny Rockets, and I had a cheeseburger and a chocolate milkshake. And they do make the best chocolate milkshakes in the world. And I don't care. It cost me $5. It doesn't bother me in the least because they are so good. And it was a lot of fun yesterday. A sea day in the boardwalk section of this ship. They had a ragtime band playing. They had games set up for the kids. They had, there's actually a climbing wall for kids, which I was fascinated by that one. I normally don't get overly excited about kids on the ship, but it was fun yesterday. And I sat there, and then I got the whole treatment with the singing and dancing at Johnny Rockets. That's the first time I've really been there for that whole song and dance thing. So it was fun. I enjoyed it, and glad I had my chocolate milkshake. T-minus 7 days till they leave for London. That's Hot Air Tom and Cindy. Yep. I do a road trip Friday to Princeton Junction, New Jersey, selling one of our fleet cars to a Bronx friend and meeting him near Amtrak station in that town. So up the road from Trenton. Cool. Cindy says 4 sleeps in Rome bound for 2 days in the Mediterranean on the Epic. Wow. You guys, just keep posting those pictures and I'll keep stealing them because we will happily be showing everything you're doing. Emily's with us a little later than the last couple days, but she's still here. She got here about 9 after. That's not bad for Emily. Hot Air Tom, good luck with the inside of one of your cars. Your milkshake and meal looked delicious. Thank you, Cindy. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed that. I didn't know it was chocolate milkshake day. Oh well, next time. See there, Emily, you need to pay attention to what I'm saying instead of talking to everybody and ignoring everything I say. I mean, you might learn something on occasions. Still awake, Chillie. Laugh out loud. All right, guys, that's going to do me in for today. I need to take my computer upstairs, get the podcast processed and all that business. And I got to get in my safe and get my passport out, and then I'll go ashore and see what trouble I can get into in St Maarten. So at any rate, guys, that's it for today. I'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. I think I'm in, St. Thomas tomorrow. But I'll still do the show. So that's it for today, guys. If you're new to this channel, let me invite you to subscribe. I appreciate that. We always like to have the thumbs up. That helps the channel out a bunch. And if you do subscribe, hit that bell notification. You'll be notified when I go live or when I post a new video. And there's going to be a lot of videos posted, folks, from this one. A lot when I get them all done. So that's it for today, guys. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. For now, this is the old fat travel guy, Chillie Falls. See you tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry, so if you'd like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.